Good morning, you guys. Good morning. I'm like all the way up. I woke up super pumped, ready to go. I went on a run and had my coffee. And while I was running, I was listening to this podcast and it like fueled my soul. And I was like, I gotta share this. So it was all about being successful and like what it takes. And I know for our SFR shirts, like Chloe's thing is whole like change your lens, change your perspective, right? And then be the 1%. And in my head, I was like, okay, the 1%'s an SSD. Yeah, got it. Not a big deal. Cool. I mean, it is a big deal, but like, sure. But I'm not an SSD, so okay. But then I was listening to this and I was like, this is exactly what she means by being the 1%. Okay? So I'm listening to this podcast. She's talking about fundamentals and consistency are what's going to give you success. She literally throws out there like point blank period. Most people are not going to be successful. They're just not. Why? Because they don't want to do what successful people do. They want it to be easy, but like it's not going to be easy. Life is not easy. Your business is not going to be easy. Anything worth having is not going to be easy, period. And once you can adopt that mindset, then you're like, okay, now I have to go forward and do the hard things. Okay? And then she says like, this means going to trainings, attending Zoom meetings, listening to podcasts, reading books. Like if a billionaire can read a book in a day, I promise you, we have time to read a book, to learn and be successful. We've got to feed our minds. And I was looking, I have the 3 legs of success in front of me, and the top of the stool is self-care. And it literally says in there, feed your brain with podcasts, books, and trainings. Right? Because evolving isn't easy, changing isn't easy, growing isn't easy. But literally what got you to the level that you're at right now is not going to get you to the next level. It's just not. Think about it when you were an essential consultant and you just signed up. Is your mindset the same? No, it shouldn't be. If it is, that's scary and that's not okay. You need to fix it because you literally cannot have an essential consultant mindset as a star consultant, as a superstar consultant, as a director, as a star director, or an SSD. You can't, because with each step along the process comes with more responsibility, a bigger team, like more things to learn, more things to implement in your business. It is ever evolving and ever changing. You've got to continue to grow, feed your mind, and change your mindset. You cannot stay in the same box. You just can't. You can't. You've got to learn, you've got to show up, you've got to lead, and you've got to figure it out, okay? Because again, it's not supposed to be easy. Hello, it's not supposed to be easy. We have to make time for these things. You have to have a mindset shift, okay? So if you're not hopping on trainings, if you are not, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm going to be very honest. If you are not participating in Earn the Fit, like even if you don't think you can do it, which again, change your mindset, right? Like you're never going to get anywhere that way. But even if you're like, I really just don't have the time. How do you expect your team to have the time? How do you expect them to sit there and be like, okay, yeah, I can do it. Iron sharpens iron. And if you're not that iron for your team, you need to step back. Just going to put that out there. Seriously, show up and do the hard thing. Stop freaking making excuses like, oh, well, I really have to do this. Life happens. You won't be there for every single thing. I totally get that. But I think last week when we were on Earn the Fit, and I mean, Whitney, like, she gave us a heavy dose. She's like, listen, everybody's got all these excuses, but literally Whitney, Katrina, and I had done a training every single night that week and running our own businesses, leading our teams, and then Earn the Fit. And that's not something we have to do. It's something we want to do, right? It's something we get to do and we feel blessed to do. But like, if you're not going to show up, you need to step back. You have to show up for your team. Stop making excuses because you literally cannot sit there again and have an essential consultant mindset or a certified consultant mindset and think that you're a leader. No, you've got to change. You've got to grow. Like, so I'm like feeling all these things like, come on, we've got to be successful people and we've got to adopt the mindset of a successful person. Okay. So you cannot grow in the easy. That's very, very real. If it's easy, you ain't growing, right? In our homeschooling curriculum, we have something called Easy Plus One. So you take a concept that you have your child that they know that's a little bit below their level, and you go over it with them so they're gaining that confidence, okay? Then you're going to add one thing that they have no idea what they're doing. But it's not a big deal and it's not scary because you had the easy thing they already know and you're just adding one new concept. That is what we should be doing in our business. I literally was at a homeschooling meeting from 6 to 10 last night. And I thought about that in our business. I'm like, that is exactly what we need to be doing. Easy plus one, right? Because it has to be replicatable for our teams. If it's not replicatable for our teams, it ain't easy. And not everything is gonna be easy, but we have to simplify things enough to where we can replicate them and be consistent and set that foundation and those fundamentals so that our business can keep growing and ever evolving, okay? So growth is not easy. You cannot grow in the easy, and the obstacle is the way. Successful people know this. Successful people know this, which is like mind-blowing to me because growth and comfort can't happen at the same time. They just can't. And you can't change your mindset if you're going to be completely comfortable all the time. That's not going to get us anywhere. That's not what successful people do. So then she goes forward and she talks about you're either going to step forward into growth and be like, okay, let's do this, or you're going to step back into your comfort zone. But if you're stepping back, you ain't going forward. So what do you want to do with your business? Do you want to go forward? And from the list of dreams yesterday that everybody posted, like, we should all be going forward. We should all be going forward. And if you're leading people or people are joining underneath you, you should be wanting to go forward. You shouldn't want to go backwards and be comfortable 24/7. Like that's not a smart business mindset. It's not a leadership mentality, and it's not a successful person mindset either. So it's none of those things, okay? So instead of making excuses, this is so hard, or I don't know how I'm going to do this, or, you know, life happens. You're not going to be there for everything. But if you're at a freaking soccer game, put an AirPod in. Go buy yourself some AirPods. Like with your next check. I promise you it will be worth it. I promise you it'll be worth it. You can do multiple things while listening to a training in your ear and going about your life, right? You won't always be able to show up, but you need to show up as much as you can. So instead of being like, oh, it's so hard, or I really just don't have the time. No, it's not a priority. And instead you should really be sitting here and thinking like, I'll find a way. I'll find a way. Because I had this conversation with Whitney the other day, and I'm going to be really, really honest. We had the Earn the Fit group, and I think it was Katrina. She posted like, how many of you actually watched the training? And people were honest. And I'm like, you know what? That takes some balls up. Because that's not me. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I didn't watch it. No, instead, I'm like, I'm going to find a way. I'm not going to let anybody know like, oh, this was hard. No, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way. I'm sorry, my kids are yelling. Speaking of leading, I'll lead them right out the kitchen in a minute if they don't stop. Lord. Anyways, so if you want to be extraordinary, you cannot be ordinary. You need to let go of the idea that you want to lead a normal, right? Or you're going to be normal if you want to lead an extraordinary life. So let's think about it this way. If you want to be Chloe Cox, you need to adopt that mindset now. Nothing you do should be normal. That's not, Chloe Cox is not normal. Let's be honest. And then stop spreading ourselves so freaking thin that we cannot give to what we want. And again, if we have those lists of dreams that we all put out there yesterday, then there needs to be things that you're like, okay, I need to cut this out so I can focus over here on my business. Like, if you don't want to go to the barbecue with Susie Q, don't freaking go. Don't go. Literally, my husband has this new PA that works with him, and their family wants to be with us all the time. And they wanted to go to the lake today, and I told my husband, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm not going. I don't want to. I would much rather spend time working on my goals, working towards things that I want in my life, than to go hang out with people I don't like. So stop spreading yourself so thin, doing things that you don't want to do if you want a successful business, right? Like, you guys, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And as women, like, we really do, we take that on. If you don't want to be a part of the PTO, don't be a part of the PTO. Say no. It's okay. Use that time instead to focus on your business, right? I really don't want to go hang out with those people. I'm not going to. I'm going to say no. I've got other things to do and other things that I want to work for. Because, ready? If I'm sitting here putting my time and my energy into things that I don't really want to do, it's taking away from the stuff that I want. And successful people don't live in their feelings in the now, they live in the future. So you need to have your list of goals in front of you, paste it on your wall just like I do. And when I look at those goals, I think, nope, I don't have time to go to the lake with people I don't like. I have things to do. I have goals to hit. I have dreams that I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm not going to take my self-care out of that, but I'm not going to give into things I don't want to do. Like that, we have to be smart with our time, because in the end, you're like, oh, I don't have time for my business. Well, no, you did, but then you did a bunch of stuff you didn't want to do. Like, hello, we have to be smart about that. Okay, binging TV, binging Netflix, and eating a whole pizza and ice cream and eating your feelings, that's normal. That's ordinary. Everybody does that. So take a few of those times that you'd be like, you know what, I really want to binge watch TV and sit here on my backside like everybody else in America. No, I'm going to go listen to a podcast. I'm going to go listen to something about business and fuel myself to go towards my dreams. You have to be willing to be extraordinary if that's what you really want. Otherwise, those dreams aren't going to happen. And when this podcast is talking about this, my mind was just like, this is so good. And then that needs to spill out into every single thing you do, right? So if you want to be extraordinary, then you need to be extraordinary, like in all the things that matter to you in your life, in your relationships, in your business, in your mindset, in your self-care, all those things, not just in one area, because that's the person you're trying to become. And if that's the person you're trying to become, you've got to put steps in place to get there. Like, you can't just be like, oh man, one day I want to grow up to be just like Chloe, but I'm just going to sit here. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. It's not no. But you also have to remember, again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So Chloe's stuff is intense. That's not where your business is at right now. You do not have, 8,000 consultants underneath you. You don't. So that's the thing, right? Like, it doesn't need to be intense. It needs to be consistent. And then you can do your easy +1, adding something to it. Once you get to the next level, you're going to add something. That's a little bit harder. And when you master that, then you add something else. And when you master that, you add something else. And that's how you build your big business to get to your dreams and to be successful. Okay? So, you need to show up and have the energy in every single thing that you do and stop half-assing your life. I'm going to be truly transparent. I think probably for about the past 6 years, well, I'll take this past year out. Past 5 years, I've been half-assing my life. And it's literally like, was I really even living, or was I just going through the motions? Was I just here, or was I doing what I wanted to do, what I felt I was called to do, and the purpose that I felt that I had? No, I was half-assing my life. I was literally sitting there binge watching TV. Like, now I catch a show at night in the evening with my husband to relax before bed. But I mean, for the most part, I am going because I have dreams and goals and things I need to accomplish and things I need to get done. I don't have time to half-ass my life anymore. I've wasted too much time. I didn't have a successful person mindset. So instead of half-assing my life and sitting on my backside watching TV 24/7 and eating bonbons and drinking wine and sitting there waiting for something to be amazing, no, it's time for me to go out and make that happen myself. And I can do that because I have this team and I have the tools given to me to do it, but I have to implement those things in order to make that happen. You literally cannot just sit here on your butt and expect to be successful. Oh, I want to be the next Chloe Cox. It ain't going to happen with you sitting on your butt. It's not. So show up for the trainings. Show up for Zoom meetings. Show up, read a darn book, listen to a podcast, educate yourself. You guys, hello? I literally sat here, not that I'm the bomb diggity, because I literally just told you that I probably wasted the past 5 years of my life doing nothing. Stagnant, just sitting here, unhappy. But then again, today I'm like, listen, I'm up at 6:30 a.m. Let's go for a run. Let's listen to a podcast. Let's get all the things done. I need to do X, Y, and Z for my business because today I'm taking my husband to Austin. We're doing all the darn things because his birthday's tomorrow. And I get to bless him and treat him with stuff. Why? Because I worked my backside off. So I get to be like, hey, we have this $300 Nike gift card. Let's go use it together. Let's go to Ruth Chris for your birthday. Let's go let you have the sloth experience at the Austin Aquarium to where you've always wanted to hold a sloth. Let's go do it. Because I didn't just sit on the couch. I worked hard. And I did it. And you can too. You just have to adopt that successful mindset. Like, we've got to change. You, again, cannot sit here with an essential consultant mindset thinking you're going to be an SSD. Like, what you did to get to the step you're at is not going to get you to the next step. You have to learn, you have to grow, you have to evolve, okay? Then the other thing the podcast was talking about, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So again, my husband wants to go to the lake with these people. I don't like them. I'm not going. It's a hell no for me. I have other things to do. Like, think about that. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no, you guys. We have to prioritize what we want to do in order to be successful in every single area of our life. It can't just be in one area. Oh, my business. Okay, but you still you have a whole nother life. Everything needs to be ran with the same mindset so we can get in the habit because it'll create consistency, okay? And the last thing that she said that was really so good to me, I touched on it for a minute, successful people do not live in their emotions. They don't live in their emotions. They literally live in the future. So what is going to work to get you to your future, right? Oh man, this season is really hard. Let me tell you, this season is freaking hard. I literally have felt like I'm drowning this entire week. This entire week, I felt like I'm drowning, but I'm going to do it. And I told Whitney, I'm going to pick 3 things for my business every single day. First is homeschool my kids because that's most important, right? Then I'm going to go into 3 things for my business. Then I'm going to go into how to tutor these little 4-year-old kids that I've got to teach all the things to. And then I'm going to do my parties and get my stuff done and do my self-care. But like, I can't sit here and be like, oh man, it's just so hard. Like, I can't figure it out. What am I going to do? I'm so overwhelmed. I've got these new girls. They need my help. I need to do this. Why? For what? No. I have goals. I have things I need to do. So let's do what we need to do. Pull our big girl freaking pants up. Do what we need to do and get through it. You sitting there whining or trying to figure out why you can't do something is not going to get you anywhere. Stop with the excuses. And let's do it, you guys. Just do it. I mean, my gosh, I'm literally thinking of all of the leaders on my team could sit here and give 50, like the things that they're going through right now are intense. Like, they're intense. They're doing it. They're figuring it out. They're doing it. And if you don't want to do it, take a seat. Take a seat. Let somebody else do it. But in the meantime, be consistent. Keep being consistent. But you have to have the successful people mindset. You guys, I'm telling you, it was so good this morning. So good. So good. I was pumped all the way up. So, that is what I have for you this morning. Your fundamentals and your... Sorry, my kids are calling my mom. Good Lord. So, that's going to be the key to your success. And just remember, like, evolving isn't easy. You got to keep going. You have to keep going, and you have to stop making excuses. So that is my thing for you today. Okay, I'm going to go live on my VIP page and show off my whip box now. Have a good day!